Widowed mother Ramona is crippled by grief after her husband dies in a car accident, leaving her to care for her 2 children alone in her rural farmhouse. Her sadness soon turns to fear when a spectral woman in black appears on her front lawn, warning her today's the day. As the mysterious figure creeps closer and closer to the house, Ramona must protect her children from the evil woman who simply won't leave them alone. What's up, everyone? My name is Matt, and this is... hold on, guys. Excuse me for 1 second while I go see if I can get my money back. 1 second. The Woman in the Yard is an elevated horror film, art house horror, or just art horror, if you will. If you haven't heard of these terms or you're unfamiliar with what they mean, they basically describe a subgenre of horror films that prioritize psychological dread, complex themes, and nuanced storytelling over, traditional jump scares and gore, often exploring real-world issues. Things like PTSD, depression, guilt, stuff like that. And this is the latest from Blumhouse, the movie studio that won us over with back-to-back hits like Paranormal Activity, Insidious, Get Out, and stuff like that. So much so that, well, for me at least, I was sure that if Blumhouse was behind another horror movie, it was going to be good. But with a string of misfires since then, well, now it's a 50-50 shot like anything else. All right. Enough shitting on Blumhouse. I still love them. They still make some good movies. But for me, this one wasn't it. Even so, the movie still has its positives. For starters, I thought the movie was pretty well shot. 99% of the movie is shot in the yard or inside the farmhouse, and they picked a good location for it. Aside from some of the choppy editing and like the high octane moments of the film, there's some beautiful scenes on display here. And they made good use of framing the creepy woman terrorizing the family, making sure to keep you unsettled while she's on screen. The thing I actually like best about the film was their use of shadows illustrating the power the creepy lady has. Without getting too spoilery, the woman does cool stuff in the shadows, and I enjoyed how they displayed those effects. And finally, I felt like the acting was pretty solid. From the kids, yes, but especially the mother, Danielle Deadwyler, definitely brings it here. Unfortunately, none of the positives were near good enough to make up for what I didn't like. On the topic of the acting, although Danielle does her part well as the mother, I actually hated the mother. She was just so unlikable for me. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to support her and root for her, but she's just a crap mom. And while I understand she's dealing with mental and physical pain while grieving and still trying to raise her kids, I still couldn't like her. And on top of that, I was really baffled about all these characters' actions or lack thereof and all that in there. Some of the things they do or say felt like, what the hell? I wouldn't do that or say that right there. Like, I would do this, you know what I mean? For instance, there's a woman dressed in all black with a black veil on her face, casually sitting on a chair, which they didn't put there, by the way. So, where the heck did the chair come from? In their front yard. Mom and 2 kids are staring out the window from the living room or the kitchen, I forget where they were, and they're talking to each other for at least 3 minutes, wondering what to do. Huh? I feel like the second I saw her in my yard, I'd have opened up the window right then and been like, hey, can I help you? What you doing on my lawn? It just kind of irked me that they were so unwilling to address the issue quickly. Like, test the water, see what you're dealing with real quick, and then ponder what can be done. I don't know. Side note, first thing on my mind after I assess what the heck is up with this lady, I'm grabbing my firearm. I've seen way too many movies. I'm not taking any chances. I know a lot of you may be against the use of guns, and that's totally fine. But for me, no. I'm gonna grab my little pew-pew just in case. Anyway, it's a lot of these little decisions and things said and done or not said, not done that just took me out of it a bit, and I found it frustrating. But let's backtrack a little, right? Maybe you're thinking, well, instead of talking to the creepy lady in the yard yourself, just call the cops, right? Let them deal with it. Right. Except in this case, on top of everything else that they're dealing with, the power went out last night and now all their phones are dead. I mean, shoot, sometimes I forget to plug my phone in, but I still might have 10 or 15% battery, enough for a phone call, you know what I mean? Damn, that's convenient for the story. But also, they live on a farm. So of course the nearest neighbor is like 2 miles away. Damn, that's convenient for the story. Like all this stuff just kept adding up and I just didn't care for it. And then lastly, the ending was a bit of a mess for me. I think they went for a make up your own mind how it really ended kind of deal. And to me, it just didn't really work. I'd start to go down one path with one theory, but then I could poke a hole in it. So then I was thinking, okay, how about this? But then I could poke a hole in that too. So I found myself not being able to settle on a solid ending. It just wasn't for me. But hey, make sure you take everything I say with a grain of salt here though. I'm actually not a huge fan of elevated horror to begin with. Like I typically go for more traditional horror. I want to see blood, guts, terror, demons, monsters, ghosts, and all that. Art house has just never really been my thing. So, if you like elevated horror and you've seen the trailer and you're very excited to see Woman in the Yard, what the hell? Hit the theater and have fun. But if you find yourself in a similar mindset as me, nah, probably not even worth the watch. I mean, if anything, wait till it streams and just watch it for free.